Question 4. Who would be the audience for your media product? Our media product would be rated by BBFC's, which is the British Board of Film Classification, to decide the age rating for our film. The guidelines for the age rating have 3 different factors, which are context, theme, tone, and contact. These 3 factors are what they will use in order to decide what age rating our film would be. Context. Within context, they will consider all of the issues within the film. This is, for example, our film subgenre is psychotraumatic, and therefore within our film, we needed to ensure that we showed our protagonist's psychological state, which resulted in his bad language, bad behaviour, and violent actions, which are portrayed within our opening sequence as he has a bandaged hand with blood coming through, and this signifies that he has been in a fight. Our film's opening setting is a hospital, and this is very unusual for an opening setting. Also, when considering the age rating for our film, certain parts of the film may be relatable for some of our audience, and therefore I feel though our film should be personally rated a 15 due to the strong language and bad behaviour that is shown throughout the film, as a younger audience may duplicate what is happening within the film. There are many challenging themes within our opening, which may justify it being rated 15. These things are violence and physical threat, which makes our film unsuitable for a younger audience. This is also shown in the opening of our film through the bandaged hand with blood on it, and this therefore portrays violence and potential violence within the film. Our tone and impact in this film will cause a lot of tension for our audience to watch, and this is due to the fact it is within a thriller genre. The tension of this film will make our audience feel unsettled through the colour tones throughout our film, yet they will still be engaged to watch what happens next. Who is our primary audience? I personally feel that our primary audience for our film will have a target audience of 15 to 30-year-olds. This is due to the fact that our film contains a lot of violence, bad behaviour, strong language, and parts of psychological themes that the younger audience, 15 to 30-year-olds, would better knowledge of. I personally think that all genders could be the audience for this film, as well as people from different ethnicities, due to the fact that the storyline is easy to follow, can be relatable, and can attract both male and female genders. Seeing as our film can attract both male and female genders, this will mean that our film will gain a larger audience, and this will be very effective due to the fact that we had a small budget. What makes our film different from competing thrillers? Black Swan and The Machinist are the main competing films, and this is due to the fact that they are both psychological thrillers, just like our film, The Subconscious. However, they do have differences. The first difference is that the opening is set in a hospital, and the first shot is of the boy's bandaged hand, and this is a rare shot for an opening title sequence of a thriller film. Another difference is that in our opening, the lighting is quite bright and has white tones, which is usually different to the other opening thrillers, as they are usually associated to having dark tone connotations. Moreover, the film is an independent film, which means that we had limited funding and therefore did not have enough money for things such as CGIs, which makes a big difference from competing thrillers such as Memento, which did have a larger income. Types of filmgoers that would be interested in our films. Personally, I think that since we had a small budget, our film would attract audiences who are usually used to watching indie films, and this is because they would not be used to seeing films with a big budget, and therefore will not expect there to be a lot of special effects. However, there may be part of our audience who may expect a higher quality film with these special effects, and these people are more likely to be 10% of our audience, who usually view blockbuster films, and this is because this is what they would be used to viewing. They may be disappointed that our film does not offer these things. According to Chris Watt, in Film 360, 29% of people within the demographic in the UK are more likely to watch indie films, but are open to watching blockbuster films too. Therefore, I feel like these are the type of people who would be interested in our thriller film. This is because the tense music that creates tension throughout the sequence and the long duration of each shot and the lighting that is being used. How our film appeals to this target audience. There are many ways in which our film targets this audience. A few ways are the following. There are no CGIs, and this therefore what indie viewers are more likely to use to seeing when watching films. The music relates to each aspect of what is going on within the film, which is the same within indie films, as they usually have non-diegetic music in the background in most scenes. Our location of our opening sequence is simple and basic, which is something indie viewers will find similar to watch, as they will be used to these settings, due to the fact that most indie films have quite simple locations. There is a huge sense of mystery which leaves the target audience intrigued, and this is through stages within the opening sequence, as our main protagonist is young and therefore individuals may be able to relate to the situation he is in and will want to know what he keeps doing. As well as this, the constant clock close-ups suggest that there is not enough time. However, the audience have no clue as to why this is, and which creates mystery for the audience, making them want to continue watching.